To the daughter who finally gets what's hers. That was the toast that shattered Thanksgiving. Every spoon froze halfway to every mouth. I stared at my grandmother across the mahogany table, her champagne flute trembling like a bell about to ring. "What lake house?" I asked, voice barely a thread. The chandelier lights blurred. My father's face went the color of old ash. Grandma Evelyn's smile collapsed. "Show me the paperwork. Now." That single sentence detonated 25 years of carefully curated lies. 3 weeks earlier, I was drowning in Seattle drizzle and overdue rent. My studio smelled like damp cardboard and regret. While my parents jetted to Santorini, their Instagram screamed gratitude. My inbox screamed final notice. The only person who never weaponized money was Grandma Evelyn Harper, steel spine, silk voice, the woman who once told me at 16, "One day, little star, you'll have roots deeper than theirs." I thought she meant metaphors. Then came the cryptic call. "I've taken care of your birthday present early this year," she said, voice bright as frost. I laughed. "Gran, socks are fine." She chuckled like wind chimes. "Already wrapped, darling. Already yours." I hung up, shrugged, went back to microwaving sadness for dinner. Days later, a random notification pinged. "Closing complete. Willow Cove property transferred." My pulse stuttered. Willow Cove was the street Grandma circled on a napkin when I was 12, whispering, "Perfect light for an artist." I called my mother. Casual. Breezy. "Hey, did Gran ever actually buy that lake house on Willow Cove?" Silence thick enough to chew. Then Mom's laugh, sharp as cracked ice. "Sweetie, that was just talk. The economy tanked. You know how she exaggerates." Click. I knew the taste of a lie. I'd been fed it my whole life. That night, I became a ghost in county records. By dawn, I'd traced the sale, 6 years ago, title in my name, Evelyn Harper to Nora Harper, then quietly flipped 90 days later by Trustee Richard Harper, my father. Money routed to an account labeled Family Expenses. Translation: their third vacation home in Bend. I didn't cry. I calculated. I phoned Grandma's estate lawyer, Daniel Voss, under the pretense of updating my address. His pause lasted 4 full seconds. "Nora, your grandmother believes you've been summering there since 2019. She brags about your herb garden." My blood turned to sleet. I scheduled a visit. 2 days before Thanksgiving, I walked into Grandma's law firm wearing borrowed confidence and a trench coat still wet from the ferry. Her assistant, Mara, slid me a duplicate file when no one was looking. Inside, the original deed, my name in black ink, stapled to a quitclaim signed by both parents. Mara whispered, "She thinks you're happy." I folded the evidence into my coat, like a loaded gun. Thanksgiving Eve, I baked pecan pie laced with arsenic-grade truth. My best friend Liv video called. "You sure you want to do this at dinner?" she asked. I watched the pie cool. They chose the table. I'm just bringing the bill. The dining room glittered like a lie polished to blinding. Crystal, heirloom china, forced laughter over stock portfolios. Grandma sat at the head, 92 and regal, eyes shining with pride that wasn't hers to give. Dad carved the turkey with theatrical flair. Mom's diamonds caught the candlelight every time she lied about tightening belts during the pandemic. Grandma raised her glass. To the daughter who finally gets what's hers. The room stilled. I set my fork down like a gavel. Which daughter would that be, Gran? Because according to the county, I've owned 1427 Willow Cove since 2018. The crystal chandelier itself seemed to gasp. Mom's wine sloshed crimson across white linen. Dad's knife slipped, clattering. Grandma's eyes narrowed to steel. "Richard, explain." He tried. God, he tried. We were protecting her credit. She was drowning in student loans. By stealing her inheritance? My voice cut. "Clean." Grandma extended one manicure hand. "Daniel, the envelope, please." Daniel Voss appeared as if conjured, briefcase swinging like judgment. Documents slid across the table like playing cards in a game already lost. Date. Forged power of attorney.
Wire transfers.
Every zero accounted for. Grandma read in silence that roared. When she looked up, tears glittered. But not for them. You sold my gift, she said, voice soft as snowfall, sharp as razors. You sold her future and smiled while she ate ramen in a closet. Dad lunged to his feet. Mother, we can explain. You can leave. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Effective immediately, you are removed from every trust, every board, every Christmas card. Security will help you pack. Mom sobbed, mascara rivers running expensive. Nora, baby, we only wanted. You wanted control. I finished. You got exposure. Grandma reached into her pocket, produced a brass key on a blue ribbon. She pressed it into my palm. It's been empty 6 years, waiting for its real owner. Her hand trembled, but her gaze held mine steady. I should have given it to you myself. Forgive an old woman's blind spot. I closed my fingers around the key. It was warm from her skin. Nothing to forgive, Gran. You just gave me the best birthday ever. Security escorted my parents out past the foyer nativity scene. Their suitcases were already by the door. Someone had planned ahead. The front door shut with the finality of a bank vault. Later, under a sky spitting snow, Grandma and I stood on the porch. She wrapped her mink stole around my shoulders. Drive up tomorrow, she said. The heat's on. The pantry's stocked. Paint the damn walls purple if you want. I laughed through tears. Maybe just sage green. She kissed my forehead. Roots, little star. Deep ones. The next morning I loaded my hatchback with everything I owned, 3 boxes and a cactus named Kevin. As Seattle faded in the rearview, the Space Needle looked smaller then. I remembered. 4 hours later I crested the pass to Willow Cove. The lake house stood proud against evergreens, windows winking sunrise like it had been waiting to exhale. I stepped onto the porch. The key turned smooth as truth. Inside smelled of cedar and possibility. I walked room to room, fingertips trailing walls that were never meant to be rented. In the kitchen, I found a note taped to the fridge in Grandma's spidery script. Welcome home, owner. Love, the Bank of Evelyn. I opened the back door. Cold lake air rushed in, carrying the scent of pine and freedom. For the first time in 29 years, no one else held the deed to my life. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just unlocks the door and hands you the key.